Sorry, this time it's not a cool van video. This time we're working on the Willys Jeep. We started this project over the winter. Now it's time to get back on it. And the idea is to make a rat rod out of it. And right now one of the issues I have is the back end is where I want it, but the front end is way too high. So that's what we're going to cover in this video. So for those of you that have watched the previous videos on the Jeep, maybe you remember where I left off. I barely do. Might have to watch the video again, I think. One of the things I do remember is that the front end needs to drop down more. And one of the issues I was having is a clearance issue here. So I added a cross member and now the axle's hitting it. So first step is going to be to remove the axle, make some clearance. And then I think once the axle's out, I'll address some of the other things. I think I'm going to pull some more leaves out of the spring pack. See if I can get the front end down a little bit that way. And I think I'm going to throw some blocks in there and see what that gets me to. I can't go real low because then I'll be hitting the frame. And I also have to worry about the front pulley on the engine hitting the differential. But I need to get some pulleys for this engine, the right ones. These are off a Chevy 305. It's a Ford 351. They don't really fit. What I need is pulleys to just have the one groove, because all I'm going to run is an alternator. I haven't been able to find anything at the junkyard. Know what to look for with just these two pulleys, and for alternator, I'm thinking something that didn't have power steering or anything like that. Maybe an old truck, like a 302. I think any Windsor block. The brackets and the pulleys should fit this. So if you have some ideas of what to use, or you have some, let me know in the comments. Alright, well, let's get a better look at this thing. You can see how close that is to the axle. I think the Ford pulley is a little bit smaller, but I won't know until I find one. But first we're going to deal with this clearance issue, and then I need to pick up some new U-bolts to do the blocks on the springs. So I guess I'll go ahead and tear it all apart right now, then we'll figure everything out. Bring it back in when I pull the axle out. So this thing actually has a drain plug in the bottom of it. How handy is that? I'm going to go ahead and drain the oil out of it if there's any in there. So I'm just going to pull the axle shafts out of it just to help make it a little bit lighter. Not going to use them anyways. So I'm going to drain it real quick and then move on to the next thing, whatever that might be. You wouldn't believe the stench that's coming out of this. It's gross. Well, there you go. I got everything torn apart. Pulled out the axle shafts. Are those hard to find, or are they just scrap metal? Maybe I'll use them for part of the Jeep somewhere. I don't know. Actually looks like the brakes were pretty good on it. Probably have to replace the cylinders. Not a big deal. I haven't looked at the drum yet. I've never pulled apart an axle like this before, or actually I've never torn anything this old apart before. So I wasn't sure what I was getting into. It's a bit of a learning curve. It's packed full of grease. I gotta find something to put that in before I step in it. I was digging grease out of it for a long time. So now what we gotta do is cut metal. So one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut a couple of blocks out of this 2-inch square tube. It's like 1/4 inch thick. We're going to make those some drop blocks for the springs. See where 2 inches will get us. And the last time I threw the Jeep back together, it couldn't set all the way down because the pinion was hitting the cross member. So we're going to clear that. I think I have a plan. Might be a little controversial, but I'm doing it. And the other day I picked up some U-bolts so we can actually put it back together. And today's entertainment is brought by Van Gogh Garage. You should check out his channel, he's awesome. Anyways, back to what we were talking about. So I've got a lot of cutting and modifying to do. Dirty work, you know. I think I'll start by cutting this, and then I'll make the clearance on the cross member. And then I think I might have to modify the spring plates a little bit. We're just gonna have to figure it all out as it starts coming together. So I guess it's time to make sparks fly and make it happen. I'll bring you back in when I'm starting to put everything together. Well, I'm still watching Van Gogh Garage. How about you? Anyways, got our blocks cut. So those are about ready, I guess. We'll see once we get them on the spring, and it might be a little too wide, so I might have to modify that a little bit. And been making some cuts to make the axle fit with the cross member. So we're getting about ready to start putting everything back together. Figure out what I need to modify as we go, I guess. That's usually how it goes, especially when there's no directions or instructions. Just making it work. Alright, back at it. Alright, it's been a few hours. Been getting everything put back together. Got the axle put back together. Got the blocks in there. That should lower it 2 inches. I also pulled a few springs out of the spring pack, so that may be lower an inch. I don't know. We'll find out once it's on the ground. But we're to the moment where it needs to go on the ground. We'll see what's going on. Hopefully it looks good. The last time I had it sitting on the ground, it wouldn't go all the way down because the pinion was hitting the cross member, so we made clearance for that. So now it should go all the way down, and we'll see what it's going to look like. Maybe I'll have to go a little bit lower. I think it'll be fine. Let's go ahead and get it on the ground. It definitely looks different. I think it looks pretty good. Get a little side view going over here. Maybe go down another inch. I don't know, maybe it'll settle a little bit when we start adding more stuff to it. I like it. See how it looks from down here. Looks like everything will work. Steering looks like it clears okay. Can you see where I made the clearance for the cross member? Here, maybe you can't see it from there, but let's check it from the top. Yeah, right there. There's the cross member right there. So we have clearance now. Just gonna have to worry about the pulley right here if it's gonna have a problem with the differential. Like I said, I could use some help on the pulleys. What I want is just for one belt, only to run the alternator. I have a 4-bolt harmonic balancer. So if you know something that I could get pulleys and brackets, like a F100 with the 302 or something that only has the alternator and no power steering, or I don't know what else. I think in the 80s you could get like a serpentine belt and run just the alternator, but I'd rather stick with a V-belt just for the nostalgic look of it. It's kind of what the whole build's built around. So that was the focus of this video, was to get the front end down as far as I could without having to totally redesign everything. I think it looks pretty good. Gonna have to have a little bit of suspension travel there so the tire's not hitting the fender. So I think maybe it could go down another inch, but still got to put a radiator and all kinds of stuff on the engine. That's all gonna weight it down more. So we'll see how it sits when that's done. So I think the next focus on this thing is gonna be under the hood. I'll pull this engine out. I'm going to drag that engine out. We're going to figure out which one's going to be the best one for it. I think once I start doing that, then I can go ahead and finish welding everything on the frame and start putting stuff back together for good, or at least for a while. We'll see. Well, I think I'm going to call it good enough for this week. Got plans to make this thing pretty cool. It's all going to be one piece at a time though. May have to throw the hood on here real quick just to see how it looks with that. Well, as always, thanks for hanging out at Van Gogh Garage in Carburetor Spring, Colorado. If you wouldn't mind hitting that like or subscribe, that'd be great. Until next time, bye. Threw the hood and the front bumper back on it. Looks pretty darn cool. I don't care who you are. I like it a lot. Alright, well, I'm about to make some clearance for the cross member. Here we go. Let's pop this cork. I got some enough clearance. Alright, you seen it here first. Put a big old hole in it. That should clear the cross member. Yeah, that'll work. Don't worry, you'll be fine. Worry too much.